Hey everyone, welcome to this episode. If they don't show up in an hour, I'm calling for a new ride. Everyone couldn't help but chuckle. Who knows how long we'll be stuck here. The gas station owner walked to the counter and ordered water. Looking up, he saw the phone line was cut. Curious, he asked the owner what happened, and she shrugged. The phone got jammed a few days ago, and then the owner didn't inquire further, but invited him to use his store for calls if needed. The little cop returned to the station, repeated what the owner had said, and added, "The owner looked a bit gloomy, but sadly the sheriff didn't bat an eye." Just then, another car rolled into the gas station. This one held a bunch of daydreamers seeking quick cash. Blonde guy spotted a green sedan and thought, "That's probably the robber's ride." He immediately hopped out to check the dent in the parking space, confirmed his hunt. With no one nearby, the blonde plotted a heist, ran to his car, opened the trunk, grabbed a crowbar, and heard his girlfriend watch out. The salesman saw through the window, dared not speak, watching the blonde about to succeed. The gas station owner finished his meal and stepped outside. They were just there to refuel without gas. No matter how much cash they had, they couldn't run far, so they went into the diner to wait. They started analyzing who might be the robbers, ready for action. There were 8 people in the cafe, and aside from the elderly couple, everyone else looked ill. It felt like a storm brewing, and when the fuel truck rolled in, it promised a whirlwind of chaos. At that moment, another van drove up. This time, an Indian, not for fuel, but a regular. He promptly ordered food and water, then sincerely congratulated the owner on seeing so many customers. The skinny guy noticed he was different from the rest and walked over. The Indian looked wary, but the skinny guy just asked the owner for a meal, cleverly squeezing out the info he wanted. Satisfied, the thin man approached the jukebox, inserted a coin, picked a song, and got ready for his killing spree. To him, everyone in the cafe, apart from his buddies, were just lambs waiting for slaughter. But soon had learned just how wrong no one in the diner was a complete fool, and the robbers were not about to miss an opportunity to escape. The salesman cautiously took out a dinner knife. The blonde read its act. Even the dozing elderly couple showed a hidden gun. The owner, being the sheriff's wife, was ready to take on anyone as she quietly tucked a knife into her clothing. Having served the Indian his meal, as she passed the salesman, they locked eyes. The robber's intentions were now clear. Just as the owner approached, the skinny guy grabbed her. At that moment, the blonde jumped in and aimed his gun at the Indian, trying to negotiate. The split seemed fair enough to the skinny guy, who approved of the idea. With battle imminent, the Indian said, "I'll give keys. You free the owner." Do the robbers have hostages? Peaceful resolution would be ideal, but Blondie refused to pay. He once again trained his gun on the robbers, and the blonde directed his weapon at the Indian. The splitting up was their concern. The Indian didn't care, ready to exchange the keys for the hostage. But Blondie threw a curveball, asking the Indian to hand over the keys. Head go out, drive first, then let the robbers free the owner and follow after. Talk after the gunfire, 4 died instantly. The fat man was unscathed, the thin one got shot in the neck, and the girl hid behind the bar. Subtitle: The 2 seemed harmless. The fat man was puzzled when the gas station owner arrived and was shot instantly. With such a commotion, he's not deaf, how could he not hear? Before he knew it, he was shot multiple times. True, the thin man's not dead yet, venting his final frenzy. After these shots, he can't lift his hand. In the diner, only 2 survivors remained. The girl in the loop picked up a gun from the ground and aimed it at the salesman's. Voice trembled. He hadn't thought of taking the cash. The girl was torn, reluctant to take a life, but now unsure how to handle this. The lure of money was great. The girl didn't want to give up the fortune. The salesman repeatedly vowed he'd never take it, even at the cost of his life. After a period of hesitation, the girl ultimately fired the shot. When the salesman finally came to his senses, the girl had already completely lost her last breath. Just at that moment, the air conditioner unexpectedly started working on its own, gently blowing out a cool breeze that cooled her troubled heart. The salesman finally felt a chill of fear, but knew the skinny guy was still breathing. To avoid the same fate, she slowly picked up the elderly couple's gun, and before she decided, the skinny man died. Only she remained in the diner, the bodies on the floor a horrifying sight. She went outside for a moment, then to the gas station to use the phone to call the police, but suddenly remembered she had also killed someone. Calling might implicate her. She planned to leave quietly, but seeing the barren place and the $700,000, Greed whirled up how many years to earn that. Moments later, she took the car keys, opened the trunk, and $700,000 was too tempting. She couldn't restrain her greed and decided to keep it. Excitedly, she took the cash to the car, fumbled long, found the keys, opened the trunk, and put it in. She caught sight of a hose and thought about grabbing 2 gas cans from the gas station, turning the hose into a straw to siphon gas from the Indian's car into the cans. It's her first time doing such a dishonest act. Nervous, but she pulled it off. Meanwhile, the operator called the owner. Constant noise tipped the sheriff something was wrong. So he rushed over with the little cop. After filling up, the salesman suddenly went blank, then remembered she needed to erase any trace of her visit. She returned to the diner, returned the robber's keys, lingered for a moment, trying to remember if she had forgotten anything at all. At that point, she spotted her leftover food scraps, tossed them in the trash, and just as she was ready to leave, a horn blared outside. She nearly jumped out of her skin. After a moment, it dawned on her time to hide. A young couple entered the diner, and the guy yelled, "Everyone RUN. Oh Jesus, oh God, we've got to call the police without any delay." The man firmly insisted on calling the police, prompting the salesman to pull out her gun and repeatedly emphasize, "I'm not a bad person. All those deaths inside have nothing to do with me. You've never seen me." The name Salad, the daughter of the salesman, pulled at her heartstrings. Not one for violence, she decided to spare the couple, saying, "I can give you $10,000. Drive as far away as you can until the gas runs out.